What is going on? She's just deleted her Twitter. She's getting called out because it was exposed.
Tension is rapidly rising as the Indiana Fever president finds herself under intense pressure after Caitlin Clark publicly exposed her in front of the league, leaving fans stunned while the backlash continues to grow stronger with every passing hour across the basketball community.
I'm not joking when I say this. Something's gone weirdly wrong. Like, we literally hired a freaking Chronically Online GM.
But there's much more to this story. This isn't just about a press conference or a viral clip, because something much bigger is unfolding behind the scenes, and more surprising details are now gradually beginning to come out.
I've said before, and I will say it again, Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Crosscroft, the Indiana Fever president, they were not ready. Now, Christine Brennan in her book confirmed the WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not realize what they were about to get themselves into with drafting Caitlin Clark, because the popularity they weren't prepared for and didn't see.
The situation has suddenly taken a dramatic turn inside the Indiana Fever front office, and Caitlin Clark supporters are no longer willing to stay silent. The rookie, who has been filling arenas and helping boost the WNBA's popularity, is now reportedly facing criticism from within her own organization. Team President Kelly made a comment that many fans believed was completely out of touch, saying, "We want the Fever to be like Apple," a remark that quickly triggered widespread backlash online. Many interpreted it as a subtle slight toward Clark, suggesting she was being treated as secondary instead of the driving force behind the team's remarkable rise. Supporters argue that Clark is the primary reason for the Fever's surge in relevance, with merchandise sales soaring and national attention increasing because of her presence. Rather than fully acknowledging that impact, critics say the organization appears to downplay her influence. The reaction across social media was immediate and intense, with fans calling the statement disrespectful and deeply disappointing. Shortly after the controversy escalated, Crosscoff's ex-Twitter account disappeared without any explanation, fueling even more speculation. There was no official apology or clarification, only silence, yet the backlash continues as the situation keeps unfolding and fans remain highly engaged and increasingly vocal.
Stephanie White, every single solitary move that you make is going to be scrutinized. Welcome to it. Right here.
One clear sign that someone may be feeling intense pressure is when they suddenly erase their social media presence during a controversy. And that's exactly what Fever president Kelly Crosscoff reportedly did after her Apple comment about the team went viral for all the wrong reasons. Fans reacted almost immediately. As soon as the clip spread across X, Caitlin Clark supporters flooded the platform, criticizing Crosscoff for what they believed was an attempt to reduce Clark, the biggest reason behind the WNBA's current surge in attention, to just another piece in a corporate-style comparison. By Friday night, Crosscoff's X account had completely disappeared. There was no statement, no clarification, and no response, only silence. For many fans, that silence seemed even more revealing than anything she could have said. The backlash continued to grow as loyal supporters, including longtime season ticket holders who stood by the franchise through difficult seasons, voiced frustration and disappointment, arguing that the front office was mishandling a rare moment of national relevance. Critics also pointed to ongoing concerns about Clark's treatment on the court, claiming she has been on the receiving end of excessive physical play while officials have failed to consistently step in. In that context, many fans felt the president's comments only added to the perception that Clark's impact was being downplayed instead of fully recognized. Crosscoff's decision to step away from social media only fueled even more speculation, with many viewing it as an effort to escape the growing backlash. What began as outrage over a single comment has now evolved into a much broader trust issue between the fan base and the organization, and then Sophie Cunningham enters the picture. But that's where the story takes yet another unexpected turn.
I was a ref. I know I would mess up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing?
Just go tomorrow. You're on the Las Vegas Strip. What can the Las Vegas expect from Sophie?
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player.
The conversation took another dramatic turn when Sophie Cunningham, often described as Caitlin Clark's bodyguard and jokingly called the unofficial vice president of "try that on our court and you'll get dropped," sent shockwaves through the league with her comments during the debut episode of her podcast, Show Me Something. Sophie came out aggressively, delivering a raw, unfiltered monologue that sounded like it came straight from a sports drama. While she did not directly name every target, her message made it clear that she was strongly pushing back against those she believed were downplaying Caitlin Clark's influence in the WNBA. At one point, she bluntly repeated the phrase, "You're literally dumb," a moment that quickly spread across TikTok, YouTube, and X. But Sophie is known for more than just her words. She has built a reputation for her physical style of play, including a recent incident in which she committed a hard foul on a Connecticut Sun player after Clark was struck in the face during a game. She was ejected, but afterward made it clear that she stood by her approach, saying her job is to protect her teammates. This time, however, her remarks extended beyond opponents and officiating. Reports suggest she also directed criticism toward elements within the Indiana Fever organization, claiming that some of the disrespect toward Clark is coming from inside the team environment. That has led insiders to describe her podcast appearance as a defining line in the sand. Fans had already been sensing growing tension within the league between established veterans and rising viral stars, and now that conflict appears to be unfolding inside Indiana as well. According to Sophie, she is no longer interested in staying quiet, insisting that it wasn't a dirty play.
Wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle and I don't think anybody wanted that. But the way that the game went and how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players, and they especially weren't protecting the number one player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that. To me, this was not a dirty play. This was making a statement because the referees didn't do their damn job. This would not have happened at the end of the game if the referees did their job during the first play. If the referees did their job, not just the first play, every single play leading up to that. If the referees had control of the game, that is their only job. The referees' first job, their number one job, is to protect their players.
I get it to a certain extent, and every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But There's just more.
Many fans believe it is becoming increasingly clear that Caitlin Clark is being heavily targeted on the court. Hard fouls, constant physical contact, and repeated no-calls from officials are starting to look like a troubling pattern. Supporters argue that if this were the NBA involving stars like Steph Curry or LeBron James, the incidents would immediately lead to reviews, suspensions, and major headline coverage. Instead, many feel Clark is receiving a play-on response even after obvious contact. One example came on May 24th during the Fever's matchup against the Liberty, when Clark was driven into during a close possession by Natasha Cloud. The contact appeared clear, but no foul was called. Clark reacted in disbelief as play continued, and the Liberty went on to celebrate the moment. Sophie Cunningham also weighed in, saying there is simply more happening to Clark, supporting the belief that she is facing a different level of physicality. Fans argue this reflects a growing double standard that they believe is becoming harder to ignore. While some view it as tough defense, others see it as excessive contact that continues to be allowed, fueling an intense debate about officiating, physical play, and whether Clark is being treated differently as a rookie star in the league.
That we want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. This is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. We have a real opportunity.
Behind the scenes in Indiana, These issues appear far from resolved, and what began as simple drama now feels like a full-blown internal conflict. On one side are the front office executives working to shape the Fever into a polished, corporate-style, Apple-like brand. On the other are fans and outside voices who believe the reality is much simpler. Caitlin Clark is the brand. The tension intensified after Fever president Kelly Kroskoff was accused of downplaying Clark's impact, a situation that many believe exposed a deeper divide within the organization. That is where Sophie Cunningham stepped into the conversation. Rather than remaining silent, she publicly and forcefully pushed back against the narrative coming from the top. Insiders suggest her podcast comments were not driven by random emotion, but were a deliberate response to what she had reportedly heard internally. In doing so, she did more than criticize the league or opposing teams. She openly challenged her own organization in a very public way. For many observers, that was not just frustration, it was viewed as a clear sign of rebellion. According to fans and analysts, what it revealed was an identity crisis inside the franchise. The Fever are trying to build a long-term powerhouse, but they already have a generational star leading the way. Instead of fully embracing that reality, critics argue the organization appears divided over how to handle it. Some within the team reportedly see Clark as the undeniable future, while others remain focused on maintaining traditional control of the system. Fans are watching every development closely, and they seem far from unaware of the growing tension. Sophie Cunningham clearly is not either, and with the sudden disappearance of Kroskoff's social media presence, speculation both inside and outside the franchise continues to grow even stronger.
I can take a look here.
What the WNBA is doing with Caitlin Clark is the equivalent of the NBA doing this to Michael Jordan in 1986. It just doesn't make sense to me. You are biting the hand that feeds you. Mind you, without Kate...
Imagine if LeBron James were knocked to the floor after taking an eye poke. Social media would erupt almost instantly. SportsCenter would replay the moment nonstop. Analysts would break it down from every angle, and the story would dominate the headlines for days. But when Caitlin Clark absorbs hard contact, doesn't get the whistle, and gets right back up, many fans feel the reaction from the league is noticeably quieter. Supporters argue the comparison is becoming impossible to ignore. They believe that if a player like Steph Curry were repeatedly taking similar hits without consistent protection from officials, it would spark immediate league action, public outrage, and widespread media coverage. In their view, Clark is not receiving that same level of protection despite being the biggest draw in the game right now. She is not just a rookie. Fans say she is the main reason attendance is rising, arenas are packed, and television ratings continue to climb. Supporters believe she has become the face of the WNBA almost overnight, yet she is still treated like an average player once the game begins. Every hard screen, bump on the drive, and missed whistle only adds fuel to the debate, making fans wonder whether the league fully understands the pressure and responsibility that comes with protecting its biggest star. Sophie Cunningham has publicly described the situation as unacceptable, and coach Stephanie White has also reportedly expressed frustration during press appearances about inconsistent officiating. Fans and members of the media alike continue to notice the pattern, while critics argue the league itself has remained largely silent. For many, this raises a much bigger question about how star players are protected and valued, especially when their presence is driving so much attention to the sport. Supporters believe Clark represents the future of the league, but the ongoing debate suggests there is still a gap between that future and how things are currently being handled. Sophie Cunningham continues to speak out, and fans continue demanding answers with growing intensity.